Howard Stern Show.
You drew the Beavis and Butthead cartoons,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Animated of the shorts, yeah, I did, like, animated the whole thing. When it became a show, when I got it looking the way I wanted it to, yeah, it was model sheets that I drew all the...
Did you ever
everything.
consider in the beginning, like, having somebody else draw it? Because, like, as you say...
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, well, in the beginning, I didn't have anybody else to draw anything. It was just me and my house. But
Right.
But when it became a show, there were other people drawing it. And I realized pretty quickly, though, that when someone would just do this, they kind of would morph it into just very Saturday morning looking stuff, and it wasn't funny anymore. And it needed that...
It needed to look shitty.
Yeah, it needed to look shitty in a very specific way. And I was always open to, you know, whatever works, whatever makes it funny. And there's... At that point, that was the fourth short I'd done. That was the first time where I had the drawing before I had the voice.
Right.
But Beavis is sort of... there was a guy who sat in the front of class in algebra who was actually like in calculus, and he was like a really smart guy. He wasn't like Beavis. We had a teacher who was a former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, which it was unheard of for there ever to be a hot teacher.
Right, yeah,
it was just like, it shot through the school like, oh my God, like she came in like midway through the year, and this guy would just sit in the front row just like biting his lip. He was so excited, and he would laugh at everything she said. He just would go and we'd sit in the back imitating him, and he'd be writing really fast. Like, and
that stayed with you.
Yeah, and just that kind of like that energy of just. But I just kind of had drawn Beavis with a lighter and something, and I just imagined him kind of. It was based on sort of other people, but I took that laugh and that energy from that.
That's great. Do you love those characters the most after all the things you've written? I know, like, now you're focused on Silicon Valley and all that, but do you love, at the end of the day, do you just love those two guys the most?
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead are like, my favorite.
And you brought it, last time I saw you, you brought it back to MTV. And
yeah.
And it was on, and then it went away. Were the people not into it after a while?
Actually, you know what? It got good ratings. I think it was their second highest rated show under Jersey Shore, so it did well. But
so what happened?
Well, what I was told, it's that MTV's audience is like, 8 to 13-year-old girls. It's really and so it would get this different audience that they then couldn't cross promote or and they were gonna. It still may happen actually. There's still maybe more of them, but they were gonna sell it to another network. That's what the plan was, and it just got.
You didn't want to do
lost in deal stuff.
Oh.
The Howard Stern Show.